want you to do with the Green Bay Packers. I want you to sit back, Stephen A., Cam, and look at it and tell me where the fish is. Right? Tell me where the position is on the team and say, oh, we got the advantage there. Tell me where the spot on the team, the player on the team is say, we're going to attack him. You tell me where Dory Jackson is. Show me. Show me. You tell me where Brian Gutekunst, right, who went out, made this trade for Micah Parsons. You tell me where he's going to look for Zadarius Smith now so he can add something to that team. You tell me where he's going to grab Tank Bigsby because he feels like he needs something to fix. The Green Bay Packers are stacked. The roster is full. And right now, they're the best team in football.
Go ahead, S.
2 weeks ago this morning, we were...
All right, man, before we hear Peter Schrager's point on why Green Bay is just so much better than the Eagles, let's address Ryan Clark first. So Ryan Clark is saying that we got deficiencies. That's why we add in a Tank Bigsby, add in the Zadarius Smith, and Green Bay not really adding nobody, right? And he said, tell me where the Eagles are better than the Green Bay Packers. One, I believe quarterback. Quarterback is way better than like Green Bay. I believe in Jalen Hurts way more than I believe in Jordan Love. 2, our O-line is better. 3, our running back is better. I don't think the Green Bay Packers got a good running game. And I like Josh Jacobs, but their running game is not that great. And look, they played let's relax. They played Detroit Lions, who is going through some. They got new coaching changes. It's week 1. They just trying to figure it out. They got some injuries to the O-line, which, honestly, they exploited. One of my lights went out, but we just going to rock out. They exploited that O-line. Cool. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Then they played the Washington Commanders, who I thought was a fluke. I kept saying it's something off with that team because they played the Giants. It was 6-14, basically to the fourth quarter. I said if the Giants had any type of offense, Washington would have lost that game. I don't think Washington is as good as last year. Their team is very old. That's the same team from last year. And this me from experience. I seen my team actually win the Super Bowl and try to keep everybody from the previous year. And what happens is it wears them down as older players. They did not retool. They did not rebuild anything. They added a couple pieces here and there. And even the pieces they added, they're older guys like Debo and stuff like that. So I thought that team was a fluke. And 2, it's just week 2. It's just week 2. You got to give this thing time. You got to let it marinate because during week 2, I swore the Saints was the best team in the league. When the Eagles start really getting mentioned, I want to say around like week 11, week 12. And even around that time, a lot of people still had Detroit ahead of us. Some people even put the Rams ahead of us. And if you go back to last year as well, if you go through like week 1 to week 5, people thought the Rams wasn't going to make it to the playoffs and the Eagles. They said like something off with the Eagles. They 2-2. They ain't going to figure it out. It looked like another collapse year. The Rams, they was dealing with injuries, this, that, and the third. But those end up being the 2 best teams in the NFC. So you got to let things cook, and I get it. People want to jump out with their opinions. But Ryan Clark, man, I'm telling you, you might be on the wrong side of history on this one, man. I believe Green Bay is going to be a good team. But just to compare them to the champs like that, let's cut it out. We know the Eagles, I won't say start slow because we've been 1-0 week 1. Since Nick Sirianni been here, we haven't lost a week 1 game. But we tend to try to figure stuff out. Mind you, we change offensive coordinators damn near every year. So we're trying to figure it out, which method we're going to go with this team, how teams are going to play us. And then I would say you'll get the real Eagles, just like last year. I'm going to say week 11, week 12 is a barometer to show where we're really at. But week 2, the Crown Green Bay just better than the Eagles is absolutely insane. But let's listen to what Peter Schrager had to say.
Sitting here talking about Micah Parsons being traded to the Packers. Now the season begins. Peter, big picture thought.
I don't know if a team could have had a better 5-day stretch in an entire NFL season than what we have seen from the Green Bay Packers. What they have done now to the Lions and the Commanders, 2 teams who are, 1, the number 1 offense in the league a year ago, number 1 seed in the NFC, and then 2, a team in the NFC Championship game, and absolutely silence them, it's something to behold. Real quick, Greeny, Both those teams averaged close to 30 points per game last year. Total, they've had 31 in their first 2 games. And 2 of the best running teams in the NFL were held under 100 yards total. The Packers defense is for real. And if you're an Eagles fan waking up this morning, this might be the guys that you have to worry about in the.
All right, so before I get my opinion on that, we got to shout out the show sponsor, ProphetX. So ProphetX is a new peer-to-peer sports exchange where you could bet against your peers and not the house. All right, so you could get even better lines and even better odds. So let's go to ProphetX here. Oops. Let's go here. Today is Sunday. Got the 1 o'clock games, but I'm telling y'all, man, I think the passing game is going to get it going with the Philadelphia Eagles. Did I skip us? Yes, I did. And I believe, honestly, I might go with the over on this one. I might go with the over, but even if you don't like these odds right here, you got multiple markets. Got the TD scores right here. Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown, which I believe he will. Tush push. Shout out to Tush push. Got the rushing yards here. And I told y'all, man, I don't think we're going to run it as much. I think you're going to get AJ involved, the Devontae Smiths involved, stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, man, this going to be one of those games. But again, man, if you're interested in this app, just use promo code Eagle Owl while downloading the app, or just simply click the link in my description. All right, so let's get back into the video. All right, so we heard what Peter Schrager had to say, and I don't agree with him. Eagles shouldn't be worried, but it should be more like, okay, they look like competition. Let's see what they do around, week 8, week 9. The reason why I mentioned those weeks, that's when, unfortunately, injuries start to happen. But that's when teams start to figure it out or figure you out. You went through a couple games. Now we got some tape on you. What's your weakness? What can be exploited? And then some teams just start slow. And then they pick it up. You look at a team like, oh, snap. They just came out of nowhere. Okay. They a team to worry about. And to me, last year, that was the Rams. If you ask me, the real NFC Championship game was like the Rams versus the Eagles. And then you see teams drop off. Like Green Bay started hot last year. Then they start deteriorating towards the end of the season. Some couple injuries. They don't got that big name wide receiver who can just take over a game. They got wide receivers by committee, but they don't have that guy. So, we just got to watch and see. Like, we seen teams drop off, started hot, Saints in Green Bay. Green Bay did what we did last year. There's going to be a collapsed team. Every year is a team that collapsed. I'm just not sure what that team will be. Last year was the Eagles. No, not last year was the Eagles. We won the Super Bowl. A couple years ago was the Eagles. Last year was Green Bay. We're going to see who that team will be. But again, did Green Bay improve? Sure, they definitely did. But it's just something with that offense. Like when I watched them against Washington, right? I'm looking at them like they could have put up more points, but they leaving a lot of like meat on the plate or whatever. I should say. I don't know. I love food. That's what I'm comparing it to. And I don't know. It's just something about that team. Jordan Love made some really good throws, but he made some really bad throws too. So to me, their problem might be Jordan Love. Their defense seemed legit so far, but we got to see more tape. We got to see them against a really good O-line. I don't think Lions got the same O-line from last year. And Commanders O-line, to me, is suspect. So, again, man, we got to see them against more competition. Let's see them against us around, week 7, week 8. Let's see them against Minnesota. Let's see them against the Lions again later in the year. So, we can't just crown them just off of 2 games. You just can't do it. But ESPN got to get them views and them checks. That's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? Just wanted to get something out to y'all. It didn't feel right. I know I'm live streaming today. You could come check me out. But I'm like, man, I'm going to get out a pre-recorded, do a live stream, then I'm probably pre-record later tonight. Or I'll have it out for y'all tomorrow morning, man. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.